Well, here we are for the first ever podcast, Benny. What do you reckon, mate?
I don't want no trouble, man. I'm just here for a good time.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Riders Life first ever podcast. We are going live with this. We are going to be talking everything, I guess, BMX mountain bike related and everything in between. Should be pretty good, eh?
Yes, it will. I will. Well, I don't know about the first one. I reckon we're probably going to have to find our feet a little bit. So just be patient, all right? Just, people, be patient.
Definitely.
We're new here. Land a podcast.
Well, let's start it off. I mean, let's talk. What's been going on in your world at the moment?
What
have you been
I
up
been
to
doing?
with bike riding? We both delve a fair bit into bikes, don't we?
Yeah, it looks like I've been doing a lot more than I have, but I've actually just been short amounts intensely. Went and raced Chaos a couple of weeks ago. That was pretty cool. That was one of those things.
So I'd never heard of Chaos prior to you telling me about everything going on with that.
Yep.
Talk us through.
All right, so it's a 27k race, mostly gravity fed.
Yeah.
You start at the top of Falls Creek. It was 286 riders starting en masse at the top of a ski run. And then you basically race down through the village into some single track. I think there was about 7k's or so of single track. And then, you're sort of on fire roads and you're up, you're down. Get through it, and yeah, there was there was a bit of controversy involved.
Love controversy.
Love a bit of controversy. Well, yeah.
What's a race without controversy?
Yeah, totally. Anyway, I'll go into more detail of that in a minute. But yeah, the race itself was really, really cool. There was all sorts there. There were dudes on downhill bikes, there were dudes on cross-country bikes, there was hardtails. And the long and the short of it was, if you were serious, if you wanted to get out the front and do well, you had to get out the front on the line. You had to push through, be a bit aggressive and ride down the snow first. As soon as your tyres cut the snow, everything behind you was like riding through Slurpee. Just people binning it left, right and centre. It was awesome. Oh, you'd love it. As long as you're out the front, it was all good. You can steer the bike. Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Yeah, so that was really, really cool. There was a dude, he knows who he is, who he took...
I don't know, should we name and shame? Should we name and shame?
I don't know, I think people know who I'm talking
about.
They can look it up if they want. Anyway, so this dude, he's a repeat offender. He did this at Bike Buller. So he raced on an e-bike. Now, it was made clear that no e-bikes were to enter the event. I mean, you could enter it and just say, hey, dudes, I've got an e-bike. Maybe scratch me from the, the results. So anyway, this guy did, and he flew under the radar somehow. Like an e-bike's a pretty, stands out. It's like dog's balls and a cat, really, isn't it? Anyway, so this guy's come through. He's come past me like I was standing still in one of the climbs. Like, I'm no climber, but, mate, this guy was fast. And he was like $1.20. He trains in the pub, right? So he's ended up taking 7th GC. And, he flew, and he ended up taking out...
But how did he not get pulled up throughout the race?
I don't know. I don't know. Everyone who went past...
Was there a category for him?
No.
And he was allowed to race?
No, but he did. and no shit, this guy, he took the first place for the under 40s, which was hot, mate. Those guys were hooning. And he sculled a beer up there and he accepted all the awards and he sort of,
took it.
Gave a bit of a F you to the world and off he went. But, he was disqualified retrospectively when a couple of, me and a couple of people started, yelling out, e-bike! And the crowd went quiet, and they were looking around going, hey man, this guy's on an e-bike. Anyway, it eventually made it back to the officials and he was stripped. But, that's a conversation we should definitely have going
we could talk
forward about that e-bike.
Straight into it on our first ever podcast. Here you are.
Already I'm bagging on e-bike. I've got nothing against e-bikes. I think they're awesome, but when you're doing shit like that, it's going to spoil it for everyone, really, isn't it?
For sure. I agree 100%.
But yeah, I did that. I went to Bali last weekend. I spent a couple of days there. I went and rode the Besaki mountain bike park, which is at the foot of Mount Agung, which is that big mountain that keeps blowing up, stopping planes from flying.
That's about all I know of where Bali is.
It's where the smoke is.
Been there once, probably never go back.
Mate, you should come over and check this park out. It's actually pretty cool. They've done a lot of work there. They've had to stop work because the thing keeps popping.
Yep.
And the locals don't really like you going up there when it's, blowing ash and all that sort of thing. But they've done, 20 Ks of trails, all gravity fed. You can shuttle up, ride down these things, and you can sort of make what you want out of it. And
Well,
I
obviously,
also...
you didn't take your bike or anything.
No. I
So
grabbed
they
one.
got bikes and everything.
Yeah,
for it?
they got bikes there. They got
Makes it
decent
easy.
bikes too. Yeah, they work really well, and they encourage you to thrash the shit out of these things.
Yeah, okay.
Which is really good. And I also checked out the Amplitude Skatepark / pump track.
Now that's something I have seen a little bit of.
Yeah, that was wild. That's
Was it
like
alright?
$500,000 worth of hot mix.
Wow.
And it was just incredible. Like
Barley
it was.
scrounged up $500,000 for a pump track.
Well, it's privately owned by a dentist.
No, that makes more sense.
It does make sense. What doesn't make sense? Well, I suppose it doesn't make sense. Is he sold one of his investment properties to set this thing up, not to make money from it, but just because he loves it. Which is really, really cool, yeah? He's just a dude that loves bikes and wanted to set this up so people could come and shred this thing. And now he's having like
the most I
international
can put together
events.
is, as you've seen, a couple of ramps for the kids.
I
That's
reckon
all I
you're
can
doing all right,
scavenge.
mate. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. I'd ride him.
Yeah, so would I. They look pretty good, didn't they?
But yeah, this dude, and he has, people coming from all over the world to ride this thing. And if you can get the chance to get to that, man, it is proper first class.
Yeah, no, I've definitely seen a lot of pics on it, and I'm keen as to try it out for sure.
Yeah, make it a destination, man.
Yeah. And look, I mean, BMX for me, as usual,
where you
know
at?
what I'm like. I've been loving it lately. I've kind of just got back on the bike. I've had a bit of a hiatus throughout winter because it was terrible here.
Yeah, but you were training your bollocks off still, weren't you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You can't ride with half the guys I ride with and not be training.
No, you can't. That's exactly right. If you want to be serious about it, then
I love the guys who always say that they don't train and then somehow they beat you and you go,
Oh, yeah, but you know what? They don't consider riding their bike all the time as training.
Yeah, true.
It's like,
True.
mate, that is training. That is the best kind of training.
See, I've been the opposite this year. I've been kind of taking a little bit easier on the racetrack. So, but Warrnambool will come around. There's no way I'm going to refuse that. That's my favourite track in Victoria. So
I've never been, but I've heard it's really, really cool.
Oh, look, some people love it, some people hate it. Majority love it just because it is a little bit of a simple track in that there's nothing that you really have to jump.
Yeah.
But if you want it, you kind of got to work that little bit extra to do it. Kind of like Geelong.
Classic case if you can make what you want of it, sort of
That's
thing.
right.
Yeah.
But it's a track that you can go 100%, everything on the line.
Balls out, yeah.
Right to the finish line.
Yeah.
And, you can either get it on a good day or a bad day. Good day is when there's no wind. Bad day is when you turn in the last corner. And anyone who knows me knows how much I talk about and train for that last straight.
Yeah, you got a pretty big tank, haven't
Man,
you?
you turn that corner and it's just the biggest headwind you've ever seen in your life. It's just straight off the ocean and it will stop you on the spot.
Yeah, I know how windy that joint gets,
It's nuts. But yeah, no, apart from Warrnambool, which was sort of at the start of the month, we also took the Riders Life, as you know, out to Mount Beauty and checked out some of the mountain biking scene out there. I'd never been there personally.
That's proper old school DH, mate. That place is rad.
Mate, yeah, and I could tell by the amount of bodies being cut out from the joint.
Yeah.
There was some sections I was looking at just going, no, how? And as you see the body roll past you, you go, that's how.
Yeah. We were up there the week before because I didn't realise that the Nationals round was the Vic round, wasn't it?
Yeah, VDHS.
Yeah, I didn't realise the VDHS was the week after we were there.
Yep.
And we were riding around now going, man, I love this joint. It's so good.
One thing I will look at for that joint was how much it reminded me of Tassie. Like, that freeway that kind of goes straight past all that through Shep and straight up to Border. So, Echuca, Wodonga area. Wodonga? Yeah.
Benalla.
Yep, up through there. And it's just to the right. And when we turned off the freeway, I was like, okay, I've never been here before. And then as you kind of get up through the hill and over the pass there, and it goes down into the valley, and you just got this beautiful lush green, and it was just that perfect time, the spring and everything.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Haven't seen
there,
anything like it since I was back in Tassie when we were racing over there. So beautiful place, just absolutely loved it. Definitely head back there, like even just for a day ride, not even to hit those trails or anything, but just go
throw
for
your
a
hat in
drive,
the ring, mate. Get in there, do a race there.
Yeah, I don't know. If they got some other trails.
Yeah, there's heaps.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I'm not taking you down them.
Oh.
In for a penny, in for a pound, mate.
Gee, thanks.
I
hate it when you say that. I hate it when you say that. Well, look, I think we're going to head to a little bit of a break now.
Yeah, cool, man.
And when we come back, I think we're going to start getting into some of the deeper aspects of what's going on in the BMX community at the moment.
Yeah, there's a real hot topic at the moment, eh?
Yeah, why not?
Polarising, one might
Let the
say.
rider's life try and cover it.
All right.
Sounds good. Well, we're back from our little break.
Yeah.
How was that little break for you?
No, I feel refreshed.
Yeah. I've had my water.
But I need to be refreshed because I feel there's going to be a bit of heat coming from this topic.
Yes.
From yourself?
Well, no, not really. Not from myself. I think there's a lot of heat around the topic.
Yeah. I'm feeling it. People are coming
From
into
all
the shop
different
and they're
types
just
of people.
coming at me with it. And they're like, this clipless pedal rule.
Yes, the clipless pedal
Clipless
rule.
pedal rule.
What about it?
So the crux of it...
Where do you want to start with this?
Well, what is it? So 12-year-old and under?
Well, yeah, so UCI have released that 12 and under have to ride with platforms. So the crux of it is that this is where it gets a little bit silly. BMX Australia are allowing that if you are 12 and want to ride in 13s, you're allowed to then ride in clips.
Okay.
But they're still a 12-year-old, so when they go back to their state titles, they
They're
kind
on
of go back on platforms. So that's the first little bit about it that you go, question mark.
Is it also the case that BMX, like the American body, are just ignoring it too? They're just going, no, man, we don't care. As long as you're
they've followed it.
Have they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so naturally you've got the...
Because obviously, like, that would be the tail wagging the dog if they didn't jump on board.
But then you know what Americans like. They love to jump up and down about anything, pretty much.
Yeah.
Anything that doesn't suit little Johnny.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. Like, it seems to be a fairly strong culture over here too, I'm finding, you know, with a lot of sort of rules getting implemented and, you know, a lot of it being opinion-based rather than, you know, hard evidence.
That's what it's coming down to, is that everyone who's been in the sport, and I don't mean this in any disrespectful way, but who's been in the sport for 5 minutes, don't understand the basics of a clip pedal, what it's designed for and all that. All they know is that the kids that are winning races are wearing clips.
Yes. Yep, that is true.
You agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to be competitive at the top end, you got to have them on, don't you, really?
Yeah.
Like, that's the long and the short of it.
So I guess where it really comes down to it is, are these parents doing it just because, you know, jumping up and down because they just want their kid to win? Or is it because they're scared that their kid will no longer be winning because they've got to go back to flats?
I don't know. Is it that kid just likes riding them and wants to run them, you know? Like, I
can agree with that, definitely. I know kids that would actually prefer to ride clips and are scared to ride flats, which, I mean, you're talking about 9, 10, 11-year-olds
it's a funny thing,
that are scared
isn't
to go
like,
to flats.
Because when they're that age and they're doing all of this, you know, they're absorbing all this information and they're learning all these skills and they're working out how their body works and all that sort of thing. If they're taught to ride in clips, when they get out of the clips, they're doing crazy stuff like pulling their foot off the pedal and you know, things like that, which would make you a little bit nervous because it's just really hardwired.
Yeah.
So I get that. Yeah, I think if you do learn how to ride platforms as a kid, like it's going to be a much more natural sort of transition across to clips.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. So, like, what is the actual reasoning?
Well, okay, so from what I've
them?
been able to make heads or tails of, and I've tried to do a bit of research on it with the way that UCI and Bmx Australia are thinking with regards to the clips, and that is quite simply, they're looking at it from, first and foremost, a safety aspect, and second of all, from I guess you could say, your feet growing aspect. So the safety aspect, and this is one that I kind of have a few little runnings in with parents about, is when let's just go with little Johnny. Little Johnny's crashing and he can't clip out and he is attached to his bike. And you'll always get the parents say, no, he can clip out easy. He does it all the time. Yeah, I hate to say, but G-forces are G-forces, and when your bike's shooting off one way and you're attached to it, there's no clipping out when you've got no control. So I have to disagree with what they say there and say that, no, they're right. When you're crashing in clips, 9 times out of 10, you're going to go with your bike, wherever your bike goes. The second one with the growth of children's feet, this is the odd one. See, I've been on the gate many times and I've looked at a lot of kids that are in clips, and you yourself would know that road cyclists are always set up properly with their shoes and all that sort of thing.
It's a real science, man.
It is. You know, everything
Yeah.
has to be 100% in line for that person's body. Now, what I've seen is that just about every second kid these days who's running clips, no, actually, no, I won't say every second kid. Let's just say there's a majority of them out
there's
there
a big group
that
of them, yeah.
have not had their shoes set up by a professional.
That's-
So
yeah,
therefore,
totally.
their feet are all over all over the shop on the gate,
Yeah.
and you can see it. Their ankles are out or in or whatever.
Well, you can see some of them, you know, they've got this weird sort of triangular sort of shape from their ankle to their knees across the top tube of the bike.
Now, if
and
you
it's
can
got a-
imagine that you do
Yeah.
that over 5 years of riding,
Yeah.
going over jumps and everything like that, and we're talking the difference between a cyclist on the road that's just pedaling in circles to a BMX rider who's going over jumps and, you know, twisting, turning, all this sort of stuff, and their feet aren't straight to start with. That's where I look at what UCI is seeing from a scientific
So
perspective
do
of
they
it.
actually have any data or anything like that to back that up? Or are they just, you know, oh yeah, I reckon.
They reckon they have, and there has been tests done on it.
Yeah.
But once again, it's a case of they're testing, a lot of the time they're testing riders who are set up correctly, right?
Yeah, totally, yeah.
You can't
Well, you're not
get
going to
some
get into
kid,
like the VIS or anything, or
well,
you know, to
that's
get
what I mean.
tested if
They're
you're a shit kicker, are ya?
they have you set up properly.
Yep.
And by that age level, you're set up properly.
Yep.
But it's these fundamental years of the riding that they're worried about, from what I can tell, that these kids are completely set up wrong, and it's better off just putting a blanket over it and saying, guys, let's just stop it, okay? Once they get a little bit older, their legs have developed better. They're, you know, all the ligaments and all that sort of stuff. So therefore, it'll be much better. On top of that too, then they also develop better skills with a flat pedal as well. So that's where I can sort of see what they're trying to do with it, which for me is probably great for the sport, really.
Yeah, well, you know, my big thing is I don't like rules, you know. I really struggle with that. And, you know, if they're going to say, look, we don't want you using clips because you're a missile and you're a danger to everyone around you.
Yeah.
I kind of get that. But if they're trying to protect people from themselves, it's like, man, really? Do we need the nanny coming in and saying, no, you won't do that? You know, it's kind of, it just gets a little bit
But
too much.
if you got told, right, you're going to be damaging your children if you haven't set them up properly,
Oh, totally.
what would you do?
I'd
You'd
set them
pull
up properly.
Well, yes, agreed. But once again, you've been in the bike industry long enough. You're not a 5-minute bike rider. Do you know what I
No,
mean?
I'm not, absolutely. I know.
And
having said that, like any dickhead can go, oh, I've obviously got this wrong. But you're right, there's a lot of really strong personalities.
Yeah.
That go, nah, bullshit, I reckon this
Oh,
is
and
set
in
up
BMX,
properly.
it's hardcore, isn't it?
100%, 100%.
You know?
And that I
The
think is the
backlash
problem.
of what some of these people are getting
Yep.
that are trying to implement this,
Yep.
you know, it's going on pretty hard. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
they're
yeah.
sitting there going, you know, how dare you? We should be allowed to make our own choices and all that sort of stuff.
And I do agree with that, but I also think that they need to see common sense and go, well, if we're going to do that, then we do actually need to spend the money to get someone that knows what they're talking about.
Yep.
Not that I'm trying to sell my services, maybe, but I can do it.
Ben the bike check.
But yeah, you know, it's a real art. Like all kids have got different sort of walks and things like that.
And the
you're
thing
right,
is too, it's not just, you know, set it up once and it's the same forever with a
No,
child.
it's an adaptive thing. That's
You've
right.
got to be doing it every
changes.
3 to 6 months.
Yeah, you do.
You know,
Yeah.
you got to get them
Yep.
on the gate. You got to check
Yep.
them out. You got to
Yep.
check all their
Mate,
ankles, everything. But
Even with us old crackers, you've
Oh,
got to be
100%.
real careful with it, you know, because our bodies adapt to certain things and then we have to move things around to make it work more efficiently or whatever. So, yeah, I see pros and cons to it.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
It is a tough one. If it's protecting kids from dickhead parents, then I'm totally cool with that.
Yep.
But if it's just another case of you'll do what we say because we're the UCI, then I'll fight them.
UCI tend to do that a lot.
They
don't
do.
They
They
love
do,
it.
man. Absolutely.
They love being that overpowering, kind of like, what is it, the soccer, FIFA?
Yeah, totally, yeah, more easily.
They're just like,
bribed, though, or something like that,
right,
yeah.
you shall conform. And that's where a lot of the Americans, I've been reading a lot of their things going on at the moment. They're like, we're good. We don't want to deal with UCI. We're on our own thing.
Man, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, they're
Why
bigger
can't
than
we
the
do
UCI.
it? But you know what? This is also another little thing that I've been reading up on too, is there's been a few people who have also made the comment that how do we get more people into the sport? Mm-hmm. Now, if you've got a new rider coming down, he's seeing all these people in clip pedals.
Loading up with their all... Yeah, see,
now you're sort of looking at it going, well, what's going to get more young kids into the sport?
Well,
is it going to be something as simple as we ban clips for that little bit there?
Yep.
So as then they can get comfortable on their bike and riding these tracks. I mean, you got to remember some of these tracks nowadays that we're hitting are pretty insane.
They are. Yep.
If we've got them on flats, there's more chance they're probably going to hang around because those clips can be pretty daunting the first few times that you're trying them, especially on the gate and things.
You know,
here you go, kid. Oh, yeah, come and race BMX. Here you go. Here's your bike. Here's a 5 metre start hill. We're going to clip you into this thing and send you down.
It's you know, why stop at clips if we're going to go that far? You know, if you want to get kids into BMX, this bullshit where, you know, you've got to have race pants and you've got to have a race jersey and you've got to have this. You know what I mean? Like, a race jersey is this paper-thin piece of nylon that offers zero in the way of protection.
Mate, I've still got a lot of my old jerseys, as you know, and
Big
they were
pads
big,
and stuff,
heavy
man.
nylon. They were like motocross gear.
Yeah, it felt real cool.
Yeah, totally.
Things. Anyway, these things these days, apparently you've got to have a specific race jersey to race, yeah? Rather than, you know...
I haven't heard that one, but okay. I'll run with you on that.
I got pulled up at Nationals in Shepparton. I'd just done the semi-finals and qualified first in cruiser.
Yeah.
And this steward came over and said...
I bet you it was the same steward that got me.
It was a lady.
Yeah.
And
on
she
the
was just after I crossed the line, she goes, I could disqualify you, you're not wearing the right pants. And I had like nylon pants, not like they weren't race pants, but like I'd touched them up, so they looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I had to quickly run over and buy a set of nylon so I could go and race the final.
You know, they got me because I was wearing my racing shorts with knee shin guards. And I had, I kid you not, 1 inch of skin showing below my shin guard to my sock. And she said, you need to go and buy some pants to put underneath those, or you need longer socks.
I suppose the point I'm trying to make, though, is like, rather than have all these kids blinged out, just let them run, you know, common sense stuff. Like, you know, jeans if that's what they've got, a long sleeve jumper if that's what they've got.
But then would you do that at a just club level or to open
absolutely.
level?
Nah, just club level, man. Just to get kids
I can
interested,
agree with that.
you know? So they don't turn up and they're intimidated by all these kids that have got the latest and greatest of everything, and they're there for a good time, not to, you know...
So then how would you feel about a club, and I know one in particular in the US, that has a blanket rule, no clips?
Oh, man.
On the club.
Yeah.
Completely.
I think it'd be a novelty. I think it'd be a pretty cool novelty, and I think it would certainly draw a good crowd.
Apparently it does. Some of the biggest numbers membership-wise at that club in the US.
I have no doubt, because it's kind of pure, isn't it? Like, it's what BMX started out as. It hasn't sort of strayed away from the path. It's still that, you know, balls out, pedal to the metal type thing, whereas now it's all this really highly finessed style of riding and whatnot. So, yeah, I reckon that'd be cool. Like, I'd be up for something like that for sure.
Yeah. It's always good fun. Look, the clubs do some rounds with flats and flannies, they call it.
Yeah, see, that's cool.
But see, you got to be careful because technically flannies aren't allowed at racing either.
Correct.
The rules are getting ridiculous.
Well, and that's kind of why it's one of those things. And I'm glad you've sort of pointed out to me what the reasoning is behind it now, so I understand it a lot better. Well,
that's it, and that's all I've been able to distinguish from what I've been able to find, and I've done hours of searching, trying to find the actual reason as to why.
Yeah, the core reason, because it's heaps of shit
because, at the end of the day, look, once you turn that 13 years of age, you're almost getting to borderline pro anyway, because I think you've got to be 14 for pro, and they are fast.
And they need 12 months at least of clips to... you know, to be competitive in 14s, don't they? Or superclass or whatever.
But I guess what they're sort of also trying to look at is the fact that there's no, and this still sort of makes me shake my head a little bit, they say that there is no proof that clips make you any faster. And yet, I feel faster in clips personally.
I totally agree. Even if it's just that instant acceleration, like that's the one you want, isn't it? Really, it's out of the gate.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't get it because I feel like I get that extra.
There's so many reasons why it should make you faster. So
That's
I find
right.
it really weird that they can't glean data that proves it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It's
what would we know, mate? We're just a couple
two
of chums
bums on
aren't we?
bikes.
Yeah, exactly. With an opinion.
Well, there you have it. I think we've just about wrapped up for the clip
I've had
versus
enough
flat
clips.
debate.
Yeah, it still hasn't
But
solved
actually, hey,
anything.
one more
but-
thing.
Yeah.
Mountain bikers.
Yeah.
What's the call on them? Do they
mate.
go clips or flats?
There's one particular guy that only uses platforms, and mate, let's be honest, no one's beaten him
Yeah, we
anyway,
know.
and that's Sam Hill. But everyone else, for
Pretty
the
much.
most part, anyone who has been on the bike for a while, I'd say it'd be like maybe an 80% clips versus 20% platform.
In what sort of style of riding though? We talking
Downhill.
full downhill, or are we talking enduro? Or?
Yeah, downhill enduro type stuff, sort of both.
Yeah.
With enduro, like you're doing a lot more climbing, so
You prefer to be
you
quick
get a
and just
huge
keep
benefit.
going, yeah.
You just chug away. Whereas with downhill, a lot of dudes who ride enduro will take them off and they'll do their downhill runs, or they'll do downhill racing on platforms as opposed to having the clips. So I don't know.
So at the
mate,
end of the day, we can honestly say that we have no idea, but we'll just have to run with what they say.
yeah. Well, as far as the rules go, absolutely. But it is a personal preference, isn't it? Really,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, once you get to a certain age and you've been riding for long enough, or whatever, it's all down to a personal preference
Yep.
on what you're more comfortable with, and if you're more comfortable with one than the other, you're going to ride better. So
Couldn't agree with you more.
who gives a shit?
Exactly. And on that note, we're going to head for another break.
Cool,
I need
man.
to refill the drink bottle. Well, wasn't that fun? The good old clipless debate.
Clipless debate, yeah. I know. There'll be plenty more of that. No
I
doubt.
reckon there will be, mate. I reckon
we
there will
probably
be.
just chucked a bit of fuel on the fire or whatever. We'll see where it takes us,
cares?
Lukey. I don't care.
We'll sit back, we'll watch it
man. Let kids
unfold
break
and-
their ankles. See if I give a shit.
Well, mate, we are going to wrap it up. What's coming up with you this month?
Yeah. So first things first. This weekend we've got the VDHS round, the Victorian Downhill Series round in Narby. A few of the boys that come into the shop have been out there doing reconnaissance.
Yep.
Mate, it's looking good out there.
Is it?
It's a great track. It is a really
I've
cool
never
track.
ridden it, so...
Yeah, I think you'd really like it.
You say that about every track.
This
You're going to
one's
send me
nice.
on Red Bull Rampage. Yeah, it's a great track, Luke.
I think you'd really
just
like
send
that
it.
too. I think you'd do great. You should maybe look at doing that next year. We'll try and get you an invite. Why
Yeah,
don't we do
thanks.
that? Riders Life First. Luke Cristiano, Harkin at Utah.
I'll follow you. I'll follow you, mate.
All right.
Wherever you go.
Righto. Cool. Good.
Yeah. And I want to see you do it on the back hardtail.
Challenge
Challenge not accepted.
Nah. Yeah, so Narby's next weekend on the 3rd and 4th. That's going to be really cool. There's going to be heaps of people turning up to
Yeah.
race that. It's a nice, flowy, switchy sort of a track. It's a good long track too. So you'll see some dudes come and hauling ass down that.
Yeah.
And I don't think you'll see so many tumbles.
Any big names going?
Mate, I don't know. I don't know who's going to turn up there. I'd say, I don't know, maybe Bmx and maybe Chris Pinozzo. Those guys might turn up.
Yep.
I don't know. I would assume so. Probably David Enns Ferroni might race in the Masters. He's a gun rider. Maybe Jake Royal might turn up. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going to be there, unfortunately. But the Albury Gravity Enduro the weekend after.
Yep.
Possibly. That's
Big event?
it's I think it's the first round of the Victorian Enduro Series.
Okay.
And Nail Can Hill is a tough hill. Like, it doesn't have a lot of elevation, but it is a really tough hill to ride because it's just so up and down. There's no real, I suppose, relenting on the punishment on the body,
Yeah.
The climbs are tough, the descents are tough, it's rocky, it's dusty, it's hot.
So avoid that one for me too.
Yeah, I used to live across the road from Nail Can Hill for a while, and I'd go up there and ride every day, and it toughened me up.
Yeah.
It was a hard place to ride, really, really hard place to ride. I did enjoy it. You know, I think if you haven't ridden there, get over there, check it out, you know, and best of luck to you. But yeah, that's kind of what's happening over the next month in Victoria.
Yeah.
Obviously, next time we'll look a little bit deeper into what's happening in around Australia and whatnot.
Or anyone that's listening can always send in what's going on
Please
in their
do.
place.
Yeah. What we might be able to do is set up a bit of a, you know,
Riders Life.
Well, we might be able to set up a bit of a live messenger feed going forward, you know, and have people sort of hitting us with questions. Depends on how polished we get at this sort of thing.
Yeah, well,
What do you
first
reckon?
time, I reckon we've done all right so far.
Well, I don't want to get carried away, but yeah, we're doing all right.
Top 10?
Yeah, well, yeah, because it's our first one. It's top one, isn't it? So what do you got going on?
Well, this weekend coming up, which is the Queen's birthday weekend, there is the Portland Bmx Race, all the way over, way past everything else.
It's like 5 hours away. Isn't it? It's a good hike.
Look,
it's a good
I kind of feel
track, though,
sorry for him. Tell you the truth, I've never been there.
Okay.
Friends with so many people from the club and all that sort of stuff, and I usually catch up with them at Warrnambool.
Yeah,
but
see, it's one of those things, isn't it? Like I remember back when I was a grommet, we had the Echuca track, you know, and our track was sick. Like it was flat, it was fast, it was everything.
Yep.
But people just didn't want to travel because it was 3 hours away, and you know.
It's one of those things. People will travel, I find, if it's at the right time.
Yeah.
The problem is that we've got state titles.
Yep.
2 weeks after.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it?
So you got Portland this weekend. Come back 2 weeks later, you got to go back to Warrnambool.
I suppose on the upshot too, you know, like people are looking for as much competition as they can get before state titles.
Yeah, look, I don't think it's going to be a big draw card is what I'm really afraid of.
Yeah.
Great time of year for Portland. Just unfortunate that state titles is 2 weeks after. If it had been a metro state titles, you'd probably find that a lot more people would go to Portland.
Yeah.
I know I'd probably definitely be keen for it on a long weekend or something like that. No problem, because I know last year they got it during winter and the heavens opened up for them, mate, and there were kids getting off their bike and pushing them around the track. That's how muddy it got.
Wow.
It was pretty intense from what I've seen from all the videos and that. But so yeah, Portland this weekend on the long weekend, and then we've got a little bit of a break in Victoria heading into the state titles at Warrnambool, which is I believe the 15th through to the 18th.
Yep.
Going to be a massive event as always. You know, Vic state titles because it's an open titles. Anyone
can turn up to this one, can't they?
Anyone can turn up.
I really like that about the Victorian.
Yeah, look,
VB,
I mean, New South Wales and Queensland and WA have closed state titles. It's understandable with New South Wales and Queensland. They've already got massive numbers, so they want to keep it local to them. But we get on so well with, you know, the South Australian guys, Tassie guys, Northern Territory guys, that they all come down and it's not like you're racing people from other states. You're almost racing people that you race all the time anyway. So it's got that really good camaraderie about it.
It is cool. I like the Vic State titles. It's got a really good vibe to it and so forth.
And this year I think it's going to be an even better vibe because a few of the guys that I know that have been organising a few things with it, like the pro shops and all that sort of stuff, it's going to have more of a carnival sort of feel to it. So I think it's really going to kick off this year and start setting more benchmarks to what BMX used to be, I guess.
Yeah, right, okay. Yeah, well, that'll be good, man. That'll be interesting to see how that all pans out.
Look, I'm looking forward to it.
Hopefully it can sort of filter through a little bit more to, you know, the rest of the meetings and so forth.
Yeah, definitely. And hopefully I'll have my bike up and going by then if you actually get off your butt and get it fixed for me.
Hey, mate, just stop breaking it.
Mate, those
it's as simple as that. Just stop breaking it.
Yeah, just in case you don't know, I did kill it on
I tell you
Knox
what,
doubles.
I don't break
did
my
bend my
dunny,
cranks.
so
But it's just from going too far. I'm pedaling too hard, man. Just pedaling too hard.
We'll have to put you on a huffy or something then, mate. Something a bit more
sturdy.
Yeah, something a bit more sturdy. That'll be perfect.
I'm pretty sure I've got one around here somewhere.
I've no doubt there's probably one under here. A pile of bikes you've got here somewhere.
You know, actually, Bilko's got one.
Oh, yeah?
Blake Williams?
Yeah.
Yeah, his sister still rides one.
Yeah, Brock Tuckerman used to ride one. I remember he had one when I first met him.
That's what we need for Tuckerman. Slow him down with a Primus.
I don't think it will slow him down.
Oh,
mate.
come on. Something's got to slow him
No,
down. He's come back with full vengeance, hasn't he?
Mate, he's a gun. He's a gun. He always will be. Nice guy too.
Oh, I know.
Love that.
He's like a smiling assassin.
He is.
As he rides past you, as he's going back the other way on the next section of the track, he's smiling at you.
Mate,
and you sit there going, you bastard.
Years ago, I raced, I think it was the Bendigo Gold Rush, and Brock and I were neck and neck going down the second last straight, and he put me over the last berm. Like, spectacularly. I let myself wide open for it, and he did it.
And what happened to racing like that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. And I just got on my bike and rolled around, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry." Like, that was the sickest move ever, man. Well played. You know.
But it was good back then when it was
cool.
dirt.
It was cool.
The bitumen.
Yeah. You find
because you know why?
Yeah.
As soon as you get yourself picked up off the ground, you got to walk straight over to the pro shops to go buy a new set of gear because it's all been torn to shreds.
Well,
It's
like
nuts.
I said before, it's paper thin now, isn't it?
Oh, isn't it just? Well. Anyway,
Cool.
we're going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for having us, guys. Benny, thanks for coming in.
It was a pretty good conversation about the pedals, mate, and I think we've tried to alert people to the things that are going on.
Yeah, and look, if you've got anything you want to tell us or
by
what
all
you've got
means,
going on,
like, we're pretty
hit us
good with
up.
criticism. Like,
We
don't
love it.
shit can us. Like, we're human. But
And
yeah, by all means.
And if you've got to let us down gently.
Yeah, totally. You'll reach around, whatever.
And on that note, thanks very much for having us, guys.
See yous.